I signed the papers the way people sign receipts at a grocery store. Without reading them again. Without arguing. My son Daniel watched my hand the entire time. Not my face, just my hand, making sure the pen moved where it was supposed to. He had already explained everything twice. The nursing home is good, Mom. Private rooms. Doctors on site. You won't have to worry about the stairs anymore. He said it like he was describing a vacation resort. And the house, he added, almost casually. It's just too much for you now. Selling it will make things easier. Easier for whom wasn't something he asked. I had lived in that house for 42 years. Long enough that the floorboards carried familiar sounds, like voices you recognized in the dark. My husband had fixed the kitchen window 3 times before finally replacing it himself. The maple tree in the yard had grown crooked after a storm in 1998. Daniel talked about it as if it were a car we no longer needed. Still, I signed. He seemed relieved when the last page slid across the table. The real estate agent gathered the documents quickly, smiling the polite smile people wear when something awkward has been resolved. You'll see, Daniel said as we stood up. This is the best thing, I nodded. That was the part he expected. The following weeks were quiet. Daniel visited more often, but the visits felt administrative. He measured rooms. He discussed furniture. He spoke to agents on the phone in the kitchen while I sat in the living room pretending to read. Sometimes I watched him the way parents watch their children when they sleep, trying to recognize the person they used to be. He was not cruel, that was the difficult part. He was efficient. The nursing home brochures arrived in neat stacks. The real estate listing went up online. Boxes appeared in the hallway, half filled with things no one had asked me about. Each step happened as if my agreement had already been assumed, and maybe, in his mind, it had. The buyers arrived on a gray Thursday afternoon. A couple in their 40s, polite and careful with their words. They admired the hardwood floors, commented on the garden, asked about the age of the roof. Daniel handled most of the talking. I stayed mostly quiet in my chair near the window. The notary arrived a few minutes later with a thin leather folder. She set it on the dining table and began the slow ritual of paperwork, checking identification, confirming names, explaining where signatures would go. It all had the steady rhythm of something that happens thousands of times a day. Daniel leaned forward slightly as she arranged the documents. I could see the anticipation in his posture. He had already spoken about the sale as if it were finished. When the notary reached the property transfer page, she paused. Just for a moment. Her eyes moved down the paragraph again before she looked up. I want to clarify something here, she said calmly. Daniel frowned slightly. Is there a problem? No problem, she replied. Just a condition that needs to be understood before we proceed. She turned the document slightly toward the buyers. This property includes a registered lifetime residential right. The room became very quiet. The buyers looked at each other. I'm sorry, the man said. What does that mean exactly? The notary spoke in the same steady tone she had used since arriving. It means the current resident. She nodded gently in my direction. Retains the legal right to live in the property for the remainder of her life. The property may be sold, but the occupancy right remains. Daniel blinked. I don't understand, he said. We're selling the house. Yes, the notary replied. But the occupancy agreement was registered several years ago. She flipped to another page. It cannot be removed without the resident's consent. The buyers shifted in their seats. We would be buying the house. The woman said slowly. But she would still live here. That is correct. Daniel turned toward me. Mom, what is she talking about? His voice wasn't angry yet. Just confused. I folded my hands in my lap. Your father and I signed it after he got sick, I said quietly. The lawyer recommended it. The memory felt distant now. My husband sitting beside me at a small office desk, both of us thinking it was unnecessary paperwork for a future that felt very far away. Daniel ran a hand across his forehead. Why didn't you tell me? I considered that question longer than he expected. Because you never asked. But I didn't say that. I didn't think it would matter. I answered. The buyers were whispering to each other now. After a few minutes, the man cleared his throat. I think we need to reconsider, he said gently. The notary nodded with professional neutrality. The folder closed, chairs shifted, coats were picked up, apologies were exchanged in the careful language people use when plans dissolve. Within 10 minutes, the room was empty except for Daniel and me. The silence felt heavier now. He stood near the table, staring at the closed folder as if it might reopen and explain itself. You let me plan everything, he said finally. I looked at the dining room wall, where family photographs still hung in uneven rows. I wanted to see if you would ask me what I wanted, I said. He didn't answer right away. Outside, the maple tree moved slightly in the wind. After a long moment, Daniel sat down across from me, the confidence gone from his shoulders. The house was still quiet. Still ours. And for the first time in weeks, nothing had already been decided.